Hey guys, Tony here. I've been getting a bunch of comments about people kind of freaking out about what's gonna happen with the SPY, the general market, what I think is gonna happen, where I think we're gonna go, where I think we're headed. Right now the SPY, I think I told you guys yesterday that we were gonna drop to 373, and we did. I think I actually called it when it was at 385, dropped down to 373. And then I told you guys that we were going to touch 385 again today, which we did. Well, not 385, but 384, like 75, which is basically almost 385. As of right now, overall, where I think the market's actually going, like according to the S&P, just on the S&P, right? Historically, it's kind of hard to tell this time because if you guys can see on the stochastic indicator here, I'll show you guys a little bit so you guys can see. This is the first time the bullish indicator actually crosses under the 80 point mark for the stochastic, right? And you guys can see it on the MACD. Usually on the week chart, when we trend down on the MACD and go bearish, we tend to rally back up. And the thing is, right now on the VWAP, we're still pretty bullish, right? Like, look, this white line right here is basically the trend VWAP, right? And we haven't crossed downwards. Yeah, we're down, obviously, like a lot, from peak high to peak low. What do we do? Let's zoom in a little bit better so we can get a better idea of, man, what's actually going on. What the heck? I guess I'll stick to the week chart. If you guys haven't noticed, yes, I am currently running right now. I'm on the treadmill, so if I sound like I'm a little bit out of breath or start talking a little nonsense, that's completely okay because I'm on the treadmill. But we dropped a solid 5%. So we dropped 22 points, almost 23 in exactly 2 weeks, right? So 2 weeks exactly. From right here, do I think we're gonna keep heading down? I don't know, man. I think last time we actually dropped more. The last time we dropped this much, we actually went from highs of 354, to lows of 354 to lows of 322, and we did a 32 point drop, which is almost 10% in 14 days. So basically the same thing, right? The same time frame, around 2 weeks. And if I had to guess, I would think that we did create bottoms down here on the stochastic, and we're gonna go up. But the thing is, last time we were on the stochastic, we were generally under the under the 80 point top, right? And right here on the stochastic on the bottom, we barely broke it. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. It's always very hard to tell. On what's it called? It's always hard to tell if we're gonna have a market crash, right? Nobody ever knows. Those are black swan events. Nobody knows they're gonna happen. That's why it's called a market crash. Because if it was called anything else, everybody would be able to know exactly what's going on, right? So that's why this is so hard to actually, predict. Like it's easier to forecast, a day or two, maybe on the same day where price is going. But on the actual, hey, I think we're gonna have a market crash, it's very difficult to actually figure out, right? If I had to give some sort of consensus right now of where I think the market's going, I think that we might trade upwards here, in the 385 level, maybe stay here for a little bit, but I think ultimately we might keep going down. I think it's a very big possibility, right? I think if there is no news of an official stimulus check or something being passed this weekend, and with news of everything opening back up, I definitely think that's a big tell on, interest rates going back up, which can possibly hurt my RKT position even further anyways. Don't even get me started on that. I actually made like 10K on RKT in the last 2 days, which is pretty solid. And I'll actually make another video about that later. I don't know, man. It's so hard to decide right now what exactly is going on. if I had to actually guess or take like a big guess on where we're headed, I think that we'd probably hang around between this level, maybe the 385, 378 level. I think we might trade sideways for a little bit and then maybe shoot up. But if I had to actually guess right now where we were going, I'd probably say we're maybe headed back down for another half a week, maybe. I do think that we can definitely rally all the way back up to 388. But as far as what I think can actually happen, man, it's been a brutal 2 weeks, right? But I think what happened last time we ran like this, we hit peaks of, this is gonna be a long video just because I haven't actually, usually I tend to think about the video and what's gonna be done, but right now you guys are seeing me do all the manual work that actually comes down to me looking at little details here and there. So the last time the stochastic actually did this, we went up in 3 days, we went up 12 points. So again, get your forecast, look at the lows. Whoops. I think I hate about the mobile app. So 3 days. 3 days, 4 hours, 12 points. Yeah, this is relatively close to what we did last time. I mean, look at that. I mean, I think on Monday, if I had to guess, we have, one more day that we might go a little bit up, and then I think we're gonna drop again. Last time we hit the stochastic on this, everything right now looks bearish. So the last time we went up similar to this was like the very first week that we dropped, right? So we went up 12 points in 3 days and 4 hours. And then the same thing right now. We went up again, almost 13 points, 3 days, 20 hours. So I do think that we're going to create tops on Monday. I do think Monday we might actually create a top. And then I think the next projection after we create the top is, from the top again. We dropped around 19 points. So let's do it over here. So Monday, we'll do Monday and do from the top here, 3 days, 3 days around here. We'll do, that's a pretty steep drop right there. We'll do 3 days, 2 days. That's fine. So, man, this is kind of hard to look at. If we're still bearish when Monday gets here, and if we have a red day on Monday and we don't rally up or some news doesn't come out, if there is no news of stimulus, if things keep opening up, if things keep, getting worse, I do think that we are gonna rally on Monday to, what's the price point? 385. I do think we're gonna hit the peaks of 385, and I think there might be a sell-off to $365 on the S&P 500, which also means that everything else is gonna sell off. And especially now that Tesla is in the S&P, it does mean that it can definitely fall a lot further down, a lot faster. That's why you guys see these huge drops, because Tesla is now part of it. Yeah, it might be a small percentage, but it's a big percentage, right? If Tesla drops, I think like a bunch of, I don't know what the exact percentage, it kind of maps to the S&P, right? But I don't know, man. I think by next week, if there's no stimulus announcement this weekend, I think next week, this upcoming week, I think we're going to $365, man. I don't know. It seems kind of scary, to be honest, to even say that. But as of right now, I do think, just looking at TA, everything looks kind of bearish, to be completely honest. That's what it looks like right now. Everything looks bearish right now, which is kind of sucky to say. The good thing is that it's still following this uptrend. So I can be completely wrong, which I hope I am, because I don't want the market to drop. But like I said, if I had to absolutely guess, I would think that we're going back to that 365 that I just said, especially because we just crossed the weekly on the MACD. But as we know, that doesn't really tend to make too much sense unless we're trading under the VWAP line. So I think there's a chance we drop to 365 around this level for the S&P 500 next week. I do think there's a big chance that we drop to 365. If there is stimulus news, I do think we rally all the way back up to probably close to previous highs of 394. I don't know if we'll break that 400 level. I did think we were going to break $400 by this week for the S&P 500. That didn't happen. We completely crashed. So we'll see, man. Right now, it's really kind of out in the open, depending on news on Sunday. If stimulus gets officially released or announced or something, I don't know. The worst case scenario, I think, next week, we drop down to 365, which is pretty bad. So I'll see you guys later.